Hey guys, the Nexo Ninja here today, and today I just 100%ed Super Mario Odyssey. And there's nothing more satisfying in Super Mario Odyssey than collecting a moon. There's some really fun moons, mainly the story moons that you have to collect in order to beat the game. But there are some very challenging moons that you just want to chuck your controller out of a moving vehicle and never touch your Nintendo Switch again because of how hard these moons are. I'm here today to count down my top 7 hardest moons in Super Mario Odyssey. Now, there are a few disclaimers before we physically start. First of all, it's just my opinion, so if you have a different opinion, great. That's great. And the next thing is that you're going to see a bunch of different moons from other people's lists, and that's because I think the majority of the moons, hard moons as they're stated, is a lot of people struggle with the same moons, so yeah, my list is going to be labeled differently than other people's lists. So let's say someone doesn't like a certain moon and I don't like a certain moon. It's going to be in a different spot on their list and my list, hopefully. You're definitely going to be shocked on what number 1 is. It's not what you think it is. Number 7 is Metro Kingdom Moon number 30, Jump Rope Genie. This one is hard for multiple different reasons. First of all, you need to get this moon in one whole run, and that might not seem hard for other moons, but this moon you cannot mess up once or you'll have to restart the whole process. Also, the skipping in the jump rope, or whatever it's called, goes faster, and you might not think that's a problem, but yet you have to actually change your button press speed, meaning as you go, you have to change your strategy, and you don't have much time to think about the strategy that you have to change it to. Like, oh, do I spam the button? No, I've tried that didn't work. But once it gets to like 60 on the jump rope, you'll be fine with the strategy that you currently have. And it is definitely a hard challenge. You know, it was definitely hard for me because I was in a moving vehicle when doing this because I was on summer vacation and I just got to the Metro Kingdom and I wanted this moon done, and it took me 30 minutes to actually complete this moon, and I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, I hate this. But yeah, it is definitely rewarding, and it's easier than other people say. There's a few other moons that are definitely harder, but hey, you could be one of those people like me that actually beated it, and brag to your friends that you beated it. And yes, I do know that there's a jump rope glitch. I think Nintendo patched that, but if you're like me, you don't like to skip the game. You like to do it properly, because then you have that sense of achievement, so yeah. Compliments to anyone that didn't cheese it like me, and if you did cheese it, you got the moon, didn't you? Good for you. Number 6 is Darker Side Moons 7 and 8. Vanishing Road, and the other one. Personally, I really hate this moon, and it took me about 20 minutes to get, so shorter than last time, but the thing is, last times, you can easily get it in one whole run, and it's not that hard, because you're not going to die trying to do the jump rope challenge, and if you do, explain to me how that works. But anyway, Vanishing Road, your goal is to get to the other end. Simple, right? Wrong, because the pathway that you're on disappears and you need to go fast as you can. Sadly, you're not Sonic the Hedgehog, so you have to travel by doing ball rolls, long jumps, and backflips. Now, the reason both of them are on here instead of just the one, because personally, getting to the end is a challenge, and basically both of the moons that you need to collect are just as challenging. So, yeah. You'll get it once you have to keep strategizing, and it is definitely challenging how you only get one run at each strategy that you think of, and it doesn't work. You have to think of a new one and give that one a go, and if you die, you have to restart and try a new strategy, so that process could take a while, but getting both of these moons definitely is really rewarding, and you never have to touch this stupid challenge again. Number 5 is moon number 67 in the Wooden Kingdom, Taking Notes on Top of the Wall. Normally I don't really have a problem with note-taking moons, but this one just sucks. Why? Because your goal is to collect notes, but you have to roll down the hill by using the ball roll. If you run, you're not quick enough. If you long jump, you're going to miss some of the music notes. And it sucks because it's always on a curve or a tight hill, which you need to roll down on. And if if you fall, no, you don't die. You go down to that dark area of the Wooden Kingdom, which you can't just, use your hat to teleport to a checkpoint. You actually have to grab the vine and climb up. So the process of this is very hard. Just for one attempt, it could be quite long. If you're lucky enough on one of your attempts, you won't fall off the side, and you'll fall off the other side onto the sweet grass. This moon took me up to 30 minutes to collect, with a lot of falling down to the opposite side, which was a huge tick-off. And me, I'm pretty decent with the ball roll. I never really used it. I was more of a long jump guy, and this moon was really upsetting. Thankfully, this is like the only moon that actually requires you to use the ball roll. Number 4 is... Next up is Mushroom Kingdom's Moon number 31, 2D Secret Treasures. Now, the 2D sections in Super Mario Odyssey are awesome and an awesome callback, but this was the 2D section that I despise. Why? One thing I hate in video games is when they switch the controls. What's that mean? Well, in a video game, if you're playing normally, and then it's all of a sudden this force brings you up to the ceiling, your controllers switch. So basically, you have to play with it upside down. I hate that in video games. Well, in this moon, it's a 2D stage with multiple different sections. The bullet bill section is not that hard, but note if you fall outside of the moving black area, you actually have to basically retry, because if you fall out of the moving area, you're going to turn back to 3D and die. A 3D Mario game is going to kill you for being 3D. That is absolute bullcrap. This moon took me an hour long, and the bullet bill one that you just saw isn't necessarily that hard to collect. The other section being just running across a few blocks isn't that hard, except for the last part of it where you actually have to do a bit of jumping. That messed me up like once, but if you get the basics down, you're going to be pretty fine. Now, the last part of this moon is, I hate it. I mentioned this earlier, which you saw. It switched the controls on you, which sucks. And if you get out of that little, colored area, you're going to die, because you're going to fall out of the 2D section back into the 3D section, so that's going to suck. Now, this is definitely a really challenging moon, and it took me an hour long, and I'm personally glad I will never have to see this moon again. Until I replay it, so, crap. It is definitely a really challenging moon, but the reward is the moon itself, and then you never have to play this again. The challenging part is if you fall out, you're screwed, and the control switch is mostly the most difficult parts about this moon. Number 3 is... Next up is moon number 73, herding sheep above the forest fog. I absolutely hate this moon. Why? You have to herd a sheep to its nest or whatever. It doesn't seem that hard, right? It is. It's because the sheep is a full-on idiot who will run off a cliff and kill himself. And yes, there aren't that many iron bars in this. And how do you herd the sheep? You throw your hat at it, and the sheep is actually quicker than you the majority of the time. So the sheep is going to kill itself, and you can't catch up to save it. This moon took me up to an hour long and multiple deaths and multiple struggles to collect this moon. I'm really happy I don't have to go back to this one, because this is the only sheep moon that I don't like. I think the rest of the sheep moons are weird, but this one is just a full-on rage quit moon. It sucks. The sheep is stupid, and why does it kill itself? And there definitely should be more barricades blocking the sheep, but it is really rewarding, and you never have to touch this moon again, so that's great. Number 2 is Darker Side. Darker Side took me up to 3 hours to beat, and is the longest moon struggle I have accomplished. I mean, it took me the most time to accomplish. Darker Side is basically a lot of struggles to 100% it. You have to go through various challenges, like going through bar swinging, lava bubbles, flying over with glide on, and a bunch of different challenges. It definitely is a very challenging level, and there is no checkpoints in it, so you're kind of screwed there. But once you do beat it, you feel extremely rewarding. This was the final moon that I did and it definitely was rewarding, and you do need, I recommend you get every other moon before doing this one. That way you feel like you're skilled enough to try it. Definitely a lot of difficult parts to this moon, and if you're like me and didn't skip it because, you know, Nintendo 1, they removed all the skips, and so you have to do this regularly, and it was definitely challenging for me because I ain't no wimp. I didn't use assist mode. Um, definitely challenging. Like, my gosh, if you do this without assist mode like me, major compliments, dude. It takes guts and strategy to do this. But if I hate this moon a lot, and you're wondering, this is the hardest moon in the game. What could possibly be harder than this? Well, this is my personal opinion, and a lot of you might disagree with my top one pick. But I hate my top one pick, so let's get straight into it. Number 1 is moon number 38, Beach Volleyball Hero of the Beach. Yes, I hated this moon, and it is a struggle. Why? It's sort of like the skip rope challenge. You need to get 100 to do it, but as similar to the skip rope challenge, it gets faster, and in the skip rope challenge, you just stay in the same place and hit a button, but here you have to move around and try to hit the volleyball, and that could be hard because there's a big area where you need to hit the volleyball, and sometimes you won't be quick enough. And the thing that sucks is if you screw up and you have to retry, it takes a while to actually get to where you recovered. And how I beat this? Well, I didn't beat it normally. Before I go on, I just want to give a shout out to the guy that actually helps me beat this. I just want to give a quick shout out to Grill Scout, is the one that helped me come out and actually beat the stupid moon. So check out his videos and subscribe and like to his videos because he really helps me out. Yeah, this moon sucks, and if you mess up, you're going to have the longest recovery. And, because I gave a shout-out to the guy that actually helped me beat it, I'm going to tell you how I beat it. I tried doing it normally, and I struggled for an hour, and I quit. My second attempt was after watching the video that Grill Snout made. Basically, what you want to do is turn on two-player. Leave Mario close to the volleyball court, but not on it, and the other player... well, no one plays as Mario, and you grab the second controller and control Cappy and hit the volleyballs, because Cappy moves a lot quicker than Mario in second player mode. So yeah, that's a little trick, and it's not technically cheating, so yeah. That was my top 7 hardest moons in Super Mario Odyssey. I'd like you, if you wanted to tell me in the comments below what was the moon that you struggled with the most. I know the majority of you are going to say Darker Side, but I know there's going to be a few of you, the guys, that are actually going to surprise me. And yes, I know a lot of those are on people's hardest Mario Odyssey moons list, but you do struggle a lot with those moons, and Darker Side wasn't my number 1, so there's a big shock right there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.